Almost dropped it, bloody hell. Other way, Dave. Perfect. Hi guys, welcome back to Reef Exotics. As you can see in front of me, we've finally managed to get our hands on the new Sea REEFMAT. We've been waiting for these for ages and we're so excited to open it. This is the 500 model. They do make the 1200. As you would have guessed, the 500 is for aquariums up to 500 litres. The 1200 is for aquariums up to 1200 litres. Now we've got a Reefer 350 display, so this 500 model will sit perfectly in our display tank. Now this can handle up to 6,000 litres now of water, and it does come with a 28 metre long roll inside the box. So before we open it, let's have a quick look at these couple of bits we've got on the side here. Now this is the knife Red Sea, especially made for using to modify your sump. It's extra bendy, so you can get it underneath the silicone in the baffle which you need to cut out. You don't need to cut out the baffles on certain sumps, but we're going to do it on our one just to show you how it works. And then also an extra roll. A roll does come in the box with it when you buy it new, but they sent us another one anyway. Let's have a look what we get in the box. So first thing, don't need that. What's in here? The plug, that's very important. Now we got the actual unit itself, which comes pre-assembled, which is fantastic. We've got the sensor, some legs and bumpers, depending how you want to mount it in your sump. Instructions, which are always important on a new bit of equipment. Some fittings, depending how you want to attach it to your pipe work. The corrugated tube to get between the existing pipework and the REEFMAT, and then the driver, that's the important bit. So let's get the box out of the way. So inside the roller comes your roll, which is important. So let's give you a quick little close-up look at what's here, and then we'll come back and start building it. So we've got everything laid out on the table. So we've got the roll, drive unit, the legs, bumpers, which we'll use later, the plug, the adapter for fitting the corrugated tube to your downpipe, the sensors and the instructions, as well as a little bit of silicone, which I don't think we'll need. But we'll have a look when we get there. So inside the unit itself, there's a couple bits in here. We've got a roller, and this looks to me like the media basket. Almost dropped it, bloody hell. Yeah, that's the media basket there, which obviously just clips on underneath. So it pretty much comes pre-built, which is absolutely fantastic. And there's a few others on the market which you do have to build yourself, and that's a bit of a pain. But yeah, already a win for Red Sea there. So I just popped over to our sump and had a little look, and I'm going to swap this over to make life a bit easier for when we put the pipework on. So this is going to be a blank side, and this side is going to be where our inlet tube attaches to. So now we've done that, we can also now attach the drive unit to this side of it. You can attach it to either or, but for us it will work better on this side. So we're going to attach the drive motor first. You want the LEDs facing to the forward of the unit and the connectors facing to the back. Before we do that, we just need to take these two out the way. So this just lifts up and that pops out, and then this one's got a couple of tabs, and then that one pops out. So we've got our drive unit and this clip which holds it in place. There, and then this just clips in and holds it in place there. So that's that in. So the next thing we need is the sensor. Now this has 2 level sensors, one for inside the reef mat and one for outside. Now the one for the outside is quite a handy feature, so if you were to switch your return pump off for any reason, the water level is obviously going to rise outside the reef mat and inside the reef mat. So rather than the water height rising and tripping the switch inside and turning your roll all the time when it doesn't need to be turned, it will trigger the outside switch and it will just turn your reef mat off. So we've just got to connect it to the back of the drive unit. Now make sure it's nice and tight on there to keep it waterproof, and then with the cable towards you, it just slots into the side here. And then we just pull it back into position. Now we've got that on there, it's time to put the roll on. So let's open it up. Just come with a little plastic film over it. So now we've got our roll open, we need to grab the dispenser, unscrew one side of it, take this part off, grab the roll, push that nicely firmly in there, put that part back in and give it a nice push in and screw this up nice and tightly, and then with this piece flapping away from you, that just goes back in there like that. So now we've got that done, we've just got to take this middle piece out so we can get the roll through. So you just twist that 180 and it just pulls out, and then we've just got to take this grid part off the bottom, which is easy enough. Put that to the side. So this is the next piece we need, because we've got to thread all the roll through the middle here. So grab our roll. Just goes back in there. So we've now got the roll attached. So the next part, we've got to put this retainer back in. So we need to put this part underneath the mat like that, and this part will just snap in on the front like that, and then we just push it back down and lock it in. Perfect. So now we've got that back in there, we've just got to grab this guide roller and snap that in the front, and grab your roll and put it in the seated position there, and we can shut this and push it down, and we're good to go on that. So that's the reef mat all built. As you can see, the rolls in there, and that was super easy to build, to be honest with you. That's probably the easiest filter roller I've ever built. So we're going to drain the sump and get it out so we can put it on here, just so it's easier to film for you guys, show you how we're going to do it. So let's get cracking on that. So as if by magic, the sump is now on the desk and we're ready to cut it. But before, let's have a look at the knife kit which Red Sea have sent to us. In the knife itself is a Stanley blade which you use to cut away the silicone on the side of the baffles, and then you've got your scraper, which once you cut your baffles out, you scrape off the excess silicone off your glass panels with that. And then inside here you have their special blades, which are like the really flimsy bendy ones, and they're for getting like behind the baffles to cut the silicone off. I have to say, this is a brilliant idea from Red Sea to do this. So this is definitely a must-have. So now we've gone through that, let's cut to a cutting montage. So that's the Sump all modified. As you can see, it was pretty straightforward. It didn't take us very long at all. The next thing we've got to do is cut down this sump valve downpipe. Very simple to do with a hacksaw. And then we're going to use this attachment just to solvent weld this onto the bottom, and then this left-handed thread just screws into this pipework. So let's get started on that. So as you can see, we've got the REEFMAT in our V3 Reefer 350 sump now, and we've modified our pipe to have the fitting on there, which was super easy as you saw. So Red Sea don't actually recommend that you do it this way. There's only one way you can do it, which you can see on your screen now, and that's to cut out the refugium wall, but we wanted to leave it in there so we had a bit more space for equipment. So we did it like this, and it does just fit in there, but we don't recommend you do it like this, or Red Sea don't recommend you do it like that either. So let's get it back under the tank, we'll get the sump filled up, and then we can get it connected to the REEFBEAT app. So as you can see, this is the piece of pipework which comes with the REEFMAT. We've trimmed it down a little bit, obviously it's quite long for all different styles of sumps. We're going to screw this side onto the attachment which we put on our sump valve downpipe. Once we've screwed that on, we'll put the REEFMAT back in place and attach this side to the REEFMAT. So that's the REEFMAT in, all piped up. So here we've got the plug which attaches to the back of the drive unit. So we're going to plug this in, and then when we come back, we're going to fill her up with water, and then we'll connect to the REEFBEAT app on my iPhone. So now we've got it installed and plugged in, let's head over to the REEFBEAT app and set it up. So as you can see on the screen at the moment, we've got our Reefer 350. So we're going to press the top three buttons at the right, Device Manager, click the plus, scroll down, REEFMAT. As we saw earlier, it is flashing, so we don't need to head over there and do that. We'll go to our Wi-Fi. As you can see, it is here. So we're just going to put the password, which is password, in, click join. So we are now connected to it. We'll click the next button. As you can see, it's just updating to the latest firmware. So we'll let this run through for a second. It could take a couple minutes to update the firmware. There we go. It's as easy as that. We're connected to it. We'll click the next button. You want to connect it to your local Wi-Fi so you get full functionality on the app. So we've got the Reef Exotics Wi-Fi here. I will have to blur this out for you guys, the password. But we're just connecting to the Reef Exotics Wi-Fi now. Click the join button. So as you can see here, it's just downloading the latest firmware. We'll just click the next button, and that is literally as easy as that. So now it's asked us what model we've got. We've got a 500. What position is the self-drive unit on? It is on the, now you're asking, the left. So this is a handy feature which no other roller mat has that I'm aware of. It'll tell you when you're about to run out your roll. So if you haven't got one already, you know to order one, pop out to your local shop and pick one up before it runs out. So we're going to leave it set at 5 days. The roll here, generally it'll be 28 metres unless you've already, I don't know, you've bought it used. Not that you can do it at the moment, but in the future you might buy one used, and obviously it won't come with a completely brand new roll. But for us that's 28 metres. And literally we are all good and fully set up. As easy as that. So when you go on the app, it will show you the name and then how much you've used of your total 28 metre roll. Now my favourite feature is it shows you how much you've used today and the daily average. So it's a really good way to track what your roll is doing. So that's it all installed and set up on the REEFBEAT app. It was super straightforward. and I think you guys will see exactly the same when you get your hands on them. They're due for release in about 6 weeks time. If you want to pre-order them, there is a pre-order available on the website. They are going fast. I think we've only got 2 of the big ones and 2 of the small ones left. Plenty of rolls, but if you want one, head over there, get them pre-ordered. About 6 weeks wait. They're going to be awesome. We can already tell from ours it's going to be a great bit of kit. So yeah, definitely head over there and get one for yourself. Thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a comment. Share it to any of your social media platforms, and if you're not already, please subscribe. We'll see you on the next video.